Hinduism, otherwise referred to as Sanatana Dharma, meaning the eternal truth, is a dharmic religion that, like most other major religions, is not simply one uniform faith. It is varied in its beliefs, practices, and the ways that its believers worship. Hinduism consists of four major traditions, which are sometimes considered analogous to denominations or sects found in Western religions. These traditions are Shaivism, Shaktism, Vaishnavism, and Smartism. These varied schools have their own religious leaders, gurus, and priests, their own holy books, gods, monasteries, temples, and pilgrimage sites that are distinct to their particular tradition. These so-called denominations are so distinct from one another that some might not consider Hinduism a proper religion in and of itself, but rather an umbrella term for four multitudes of separate but interconnected religions. These distinct traditions have diversity within themselves. There are 6 main schools in modern Shaivism alone, and Vaishnava has 5. There is so much variety within the Hindu religion, it would be impossible to succinctly cover everything that makes each tradition different from one another. As such, this is instead an introductory overview to the 4 main traditions within Hinduism, and should not be taken as comprehensive. It is important to understand that while these traditions of Hinduism are diverse, there are many commonalities between them that bind them together. There are similarities between traditions, as well as some ideas that are common among all major forms of Hinduism. Each major form of Hinduism believes that one needs the guidance of an enlightened individual, referred to as a Satguru, to help lead the soul towards self-realization. Karma and its connection to reincarnation are believed across all 4 of the traditions, as is the goal of ending the cycle of rebirth, known as moksha. Each of these forms of Hinduism practice temple worship, and the practitioners adorn themselves with sacred marks called tilaka. These denominations are all drawn from the Vedas, a collection of stories sacred to Hinduism, though the various traditions also have their own texts as well. They each believe in a single divine entity who creates, sustains life, and ultimately destroys creation before beginning the cycle over and over again. Hinduism is widely considered by those in the West to be a polytheistic religion, meaning to worship more than one god. However, each Hindu tradition worships a single supreme divine being as their preferred deity. Vaishnavites worship Vishnu in his numerous incarnations known as avatars, including Krishna and Rama. Vishnu is believed to value the service and the surrender of his worshippers. Radharani is also worshipped as Vishnu's divine consort. Shaivites worship Shiva as their temple god, although Ganesha and Kartikeya are also worshipped. According to Shaivites, Shiva values purity and meditation. Shaktas worship Shakti, who they call the Divine Mother and believe has many forms. She is sometimes viewed as the consort of Shiva. Shakti is believed to value submission and sacrifice. Unlike the other 3 major traditions of Hinduism, Smartas decide on a personal basis which god to worship as supreme. This is called their Ishta Devata, meaning their favorite god, and they are generally called Ishvara regardless of which specific deity is chosen to fulfill this role. Smartas enjoy freedom of choice as they consider all gods simply different representations of Saguna Brahman, meaning absolute reality. They usually choose between Ganesha, Shiva, Shakti, Vishnu, Surya the sun, and Skanda. Each of these gods, except for Skanda Kumara, were chosen as they were the primary gods worshipped within historic Hinduism. They are sometimes considered non-sectarian because they accept all major Hindu gods. As such, their religious practices are generally less ritualized, and their spirituality is sometimes considered more personal. The various traditions hold their own distinct positions on the various gods, even those they do not personally worship. For example, Shaivites see Shakti, the goddess of the Shaktas, as a part of Shiva. Vaishnavites, on the other hand, do not revere Shakti. Another point of disagreement between the traditions is the nature of souls. Vaishnavites believe that the soul is distinct from God, and that the destiny of the soul is to worship and enjoy Vishnu. Because of their goal of the worship and enjoyment of Vishnu, Vaishnavites believe in a more personal God than an impersonal one. According to Vaishnavites, the ending of the cycle of rebirth is achieved through surrender to Vishnu or his consort Radharani. Shaktas claim that Shakti has the power to help her followers achieve moksha. Shaivites believe that the human soul is ultimately one with their chosen god Shiva. Similarly, within Smartism, Ishvara is one and the same with the human soul, and it is only a divine illusion called Maya that makes them seem separate to humankind. Another difference within Hindu theology between the 4 traditions is the topic of avatara, or the worldly incarnations of the gods. Some traditions do not believe that the supreme god, whoever that may be, incarnates. On the other hand, Vishnu is believed to have at least 10 different incarnations, or dozens more depending on the source. Yoga is practiced by multiple Hindu traditions. Through yoga, Shaktas seek to awaken Kundalini, a feminine power sometimes called a goddess in and of itself, that they believe is found at the base of the human spine. The goal is to unite Kundalini with Shiva at the Sahasrara chakra found at the crown of the head. Smartists believe that it's through yoga that moksha can be achieved. Through the use of religious icons and a ritual they call darshan, Vaishnavites believe that they can communicate with the gods and from them receive grace. They also practice spiritual dancing and chanting. Vegetarianism, while it may be practiced by any Hindu tradition, is enforced primarily within Vaishnavism. Saivites value self-discipline, and therefore this Hindu tradition is known for its asceticism and its ascetic orders. This tendency for such discipline is linked to their god Shiva, who is the god of asceticism as well as yoga and destruction. Shaktas value embracing what they consider to be apparent opposites, such as male and female, pleasure and pain, and mind and body. A common mantra among Shaktas translates to, "I bow to her who tears apart all dualities." Shaktas practice chanting, holy diagrams, and other ritual activities. There are shamanistic aspects of Shaktism that claim to practice mediumship, magic, prophecy, firewalking, and animal sacrifice. There are also certain smaller sects of Shaktism that are referred to as left-hand because of their worldly and occult practices. Left-hand rituals involve tantric practices that are considered taboo in mainstream Shaktism and other forms of Hinduism. Ultimately, Hinduism is not a monolithic religion, but rather a wide range of beliefs that are linked together through connected practices, ideas, and tracing themselves back to ancient traditions. There are many more traditions within Hinduism aside from the main four, and there are many varied sects within each tradition themselves. Thanks for watching.